the Titanic may be legendary, but next to this ship, it looks small. This $1.5 billion Symphony of the Seas is twice as tall as Titanic, twice as wide, and almost 100 meters longer. Overall, it is more than 5 times the size of Titanic. It is one of the largest cruise ships ever built and a floating resort at sea. Symphony of the Seas is 362 meters long, 66 meters wide, and 72.5 meters tall. It has more than 2,700 guest cabins. There is a water park, Broadway-style entertainment, a spa, a gym, and even an ice rink. It also has 23 restaurants. For almost every taste, it rivals many luxury resorts on land. In command of this floating city is Captain Rick Sullivan. For him, this is a long way from the early days. From Great Lakes cargo ships, this is a completely different challenge. Yet for a ship this big, its maneuverability is surprisingly sharp. Over the next 7 days, Symphony of the Seas will leave Barcelona, sail to Mallorca, Spain, then Marseille, France. After that, it heads for Italy, docking at Civitavecchia near Rome. Then comes Naples, followed by a full day at sea, before returning to Barcelona. At 4:30 a.m., Captain Sullivan guides this aircraft carrier-sized cruise ship through a narrow channel into the port of Barcelona. Docking a ship this size is high pressure work. In just 15 minutes, he completes a 180-degree turn using 3 independent 360-degree rotating thrusters, together with 4 bow thrusters, that lets this massive ship turn in place. Remarkable for its size, 2 hours later, the ship shifts into full turnaround mode. Today is turnaround day. Last week's passengers are leaving, and 4,500 new guests are coming aboard. Hotel director Gianluca Carnelli focuses on every detail of the guest experience. He oversees boarding, restaurant preparation, stateroom checks, and countless other tasks, making sure everything is ready. For the next 7 days, this is home. He wants guests to feel that immediately. Even the premium family suites are inspected with extra care. This suite includes a private butler, a private cinema, and an indoor slide. It is the most luxurious room on board. Every detail has to be right. Many people think a cruise is all about the scenery, but behind the scenes, every meal served on board depends on a race against the clock. At the dock, logistics manager Bolo has less than 8 hours to load 80 to 100 tons of food and drinks. Those supplies must feed 7,700 people for an entire week. Everyone eats at least 3 meals a day. This week's load includes 60,000 eggs, 400 liters of chocolate ice cream, 2,300 fresh lobsters, and 450 cases of champagne. Everything must stay at 5 degrees Celsius. On top of port security rules. Cake 9 units, check the cargo for explosives. The ship also enforces strict health standards. Wooden pallets are not allowed in cold storage, so every item has to be moved by hand. From wooden pallets to steel ones, 1 crate of watermelons weighs 65 to 70 pounds. It is heavy, repetitive work for the entire team. If chilled items are not stored in time, they can spoil quickly. Everything is on the clock. Meanwhile, in the galley, Gianluca checks the ingredients closely. His culinary team prepares about 30,000 meals every day. Everything has to run like clockwork. They study past guest demand to predict which dishes will be popular. Accurate portions matter, because every plate served has to meet the same standard. As the executive chef finalizes the menu, Captain Sullivan gives the order to sail. The mooring lines are released. Symphony of the Seas heads for open water, starting its 7-day Mediterranean voyage. The vacation is just beginning. But behind the fun, new challenges are already forming. Every relaxing moment on board depends on people most guests never see. The crew works around the clock. From precision docking, to high-risk show rehearsals, to food moving non-stop from the galley, smooth operation on a ship this size comes with constant pressure. The next morning, after leaving Barcelona the night before, Symphony of the Seas approaches. Palma, Majorca, the smallest port on the route. Stormy weather has cut visibility sharply. Captain Sullivan and the bridge crew watch for floating debris and small fishing boats in the channel. They guide the ship slowly through the breakwater, then dock safely at the rain-soaked pier. Tour manager Tiana Matasevich immediately goes into action. The morning rain has ruined many beach plans. Her team has to move fast and redirect guests to city tours. When the sun comes out, they adjust the schedule again at the last minute. She barely has time to breathe. 2 decks below the pier, laundry manager Henry and his team face a mountain of towels and linens. They wash about 15,000 kilograms a day, and over 30,000 on turnaround days. The ship's laundry operation is massive. It can wash at industrial scale, dry, and even fold items automatically, even while the ship is docked. The hotel systems on board still use enormous amounts of power. That falls to Chief Engineer Steve Erickson and his engineering team. The hotel side alone uses about 11,000 kilowatt hours per hour. That includes support equipment, logistics systems, and air conditioning. To handle that demand, they start only one of 6 diesel generators. The rest of the ship's power is reserved for propulsion at full capacity. The system could power a small city of about 80,000 people. On board, guests have endless ways to spend the day. There is the glass-covered solarium above, the bridge, an ice rink for live shows, the Royal Promenade for shops and dining, and the open-air Central Park, farther aft. The boardwalk comes with a carousel, plus water attractions in the sun. Guests fill the outdoor decks. Some try the rock-climbing wall. Others race down one of 3 water slides. Some head up to deck 16 for a zip line 10 stories above the ship. Many guests never realize the most impressive features here are not the outdoor attractions. They are the things that seem impossible. At sea, a real ice rink on a moving ship. Dozens of drones flying inside a theater. Performing a choreographed routine, the ship does both. Professional ice skater Rick and his team rehearse inside the ice theater. This rink is only 1/6 of a standard rink, so every move has to be adjusted. Even the props are custom miniatures. The show's most surprising moment is a 3-minute drone swarm. Outdoor drones normally use GPS, but GPS does not work inside the theater, so the stage team installed 40 antennas, creating its own indoor positioning system that keeps 48 drones flying in sync, giving guests a show they did not expect. Guest boarding time is 3:30 p.m., but 4 guests still have not returned. After waiting 30 minutes, the crew still cannot reach them. The schedule for the next port is extremely tight. Captain Sullivan has no choice. Company rules require the ship to leave on time, just like an airline gate closing. A cruise ship cannot wait forever. The team will help those 4 guests travel to the next port and rejoin there. After leaving Majorca, the ship sails overnight at 19 knots. By morning, it reaches Marseille, France. The cruise ship is 66 meters wide, and parts of the approach are very narrow. Captain Sullivan works the bow thrusters by hand, turning the stern about 45 degrees starboard. He guides the huge ship through a 200-meter wide channel, covering 1.5 kilometers, before docking smoothly at the pier 2 hours after arrival. Some guests head outside Marseille, cycling through the landscape, tasting local wine, and enjoying the slower pace. By 6:00 p.m., all guests are back on board, including the 4 who missed the ship in Majorca. Symphony of the Seas is back on time. That evening, the ice show in Marseille goes ahead. The drone formations and skating, along with difficult athletic moves, bring loud applause from the crowd. But on the morning of day 4, a new problem appears. The local port pilot is 26 minutes late. Symphony of the Seas cannot enter Civitavecchia, Italy. This is the gateway to Rome and the busiest tour day of the entire voyage. The docking delay throws the morning schedule into chaos. Tiana Matasevich's team must arrange 30 buses for 1,200 guests touring Rome. Another 2,000 guests are going on their own. Everyone is racing the clock, worried about losing time in Rome. Work on the ship does not slow down. Hotel director Gianluca Carnelli checks in with more than 2,000 hotel staff, managing crew rotations, health checks, and other issues. At the Aqua Theater, high diver and world champion Cesar Carlton is training. Tonight, he will jump from 17 meters up into a pool only 14 feet deep. It is one of the riskiest dives he has attempted. The biggest danger is the ship's movement in rough water. As the pool water shifts, the landing depth can change. At the moment of impact, 14 feet of water may drop to just 12. No mistakes. By evening, all guests returning from Rome are back on board. Hungry, they are ready for dinner. Executive Chef Lee checks each dish: Caesar salad, chicken mushroom pie, and signature fish fillets are checked. From color and plating to taste, guests eat with their eyes first. The kitchen must prepare about 5,000 meals. The dining room serves 2,600 guests in 2 seatings, and dinner runs until 11:00 p.m. The team has to make sure the first plate and the last plate look and taste the same. But at 9:00 p.m., winds hit 30 knots that night. Winds reach 30 knots that night. Water in the Aqua Theater pool surges. Water in the Aqua Theater pool surges hard. Even with wave-dampening walls in place, that movement creates a serious risk for the high divers. Cruise director Bobby Brown has no choice but to postpone that night's aqua show, even with 800 guests already waiting. Inside the theater, safety comes first. Many people think the ship's symphony is just its music and performances. But the real symphony is the 2,200 crew members on board. Like musicians in an orchestra, each person has a role. Every role has to fit. That coordination keeps the ship running smoothly. Together, they deliver the experience guests came for. The vacation continues. Day 5 begins at 6:00 a.m. Symphony of the Seas backs in, docking at its final Italian port, Naples. Guests get one last chance ashore and experience southern Italy. From Naples, they can visit Mount Vesuvius, the ruins of Pompeii, the Sorrento Peninsula, and Capri. Food lovers head straight for local favorites. Some visit farm-to-table restaurants, tasting dishes made with farm-grown lemons, tasting Mediterranean food culture, getting a taste of Mediterranean food culture. As the Naples stop comes to an end, all guests return on time. Chief Engineer Steve Erickson's team starts 3 engines, then hands control back to the bridge. Captain Sullivan gives the order to sail, and the ship heads back into open water, beginning a 33-hour non-stop voyage, passing between Corsica and Sardinia, and heading straight for Barcelona. This is the final leg of the journey. Over the next day, everyone stays on board, and the long-awaited Aqua Theater show finally gets another chance. The sea has calmed down. The pool is no longer surging. The show can finally go on. It blends Japanese-inspired visuals with hip-hop energy, featuring synchronized swimmers. Cesar jumps from 17 meters up, and high-flying slackline acrobats. Cesar Carlton jumps from 17 meters up, hitting the water at 50 kilometers per hour, and delivers the finale. The long-delayed performance earns a standing ovation. It was worth the wait. The final day is spent entirely at sea. The whole ship feels alive. The Royal Promenade Parade begins. Pirates, Vikings, and sea queens fill the space. Dancers, musicians, ice skaters, and divers all join in. They move in sync, with some performers riding hoverboards, the celebration peaks. Across the ship, guests enjoy the day in their own way. Some join activities by the pool, while others take photos. With the captain and crew, they soak in the last full day at sea, enjoying the final moments. You may assume the ship must burn fuel non-stop, but in reality, Symphony of the Seas, it was designed for efficiency that helps it sail smoothly. Chief Engineer Steve Erickson explains, the best speed is 18 to 19 knots. At that speed, the ship moves efficiently while using the least fuel possible. Its newer hull design also improves fuel efficiency. The redesigned bulbous bow helps the ship cut through waves more easily. Low friction paint reduces drag against the water, and between the keel and midsection, thousands of tiny openings release streams of microbubbles. These bubbles form a thin layer under the hull, reducing water contact and cutting drag dramatically. At dusk, Symphony of the Seas returns safely to Barcelona. The 7-day Mediterranean voyage comes to an end. Many guests say, for Captain Rick Sullivan, Gianluca Carnelli, and the 2,200 crew members, the hard work feels worth it. After all, this is Symphony of the Seas, and a real symphony. This is Symphony of the Seas. It takes everyone on board, standing at their post, playing their part at the right moment. From the captain to the chefs, from performers to cleaning staff, every job matters. That is what keeps this vacation at sea running and the ship moving forward.